If you're talking about questions from clients, you need to be always short and concise. And you can confirm if he really cares after you explain it with one sentence. Would you like me to tell you more? But you're not going to focus on the time that the client needs to take right now. Sign now, do it this month. Where you will for sure have a clash. Time, money, contract, you will have a clash. It's normal. A lot of people lose arguments, or if they get into an argument, they cannot get to a conclusion. Let me ask you something. If a client comes to ask you about technicals,
Yes.
and it happens all the time, do you think that this is an indication of buying intent, as they call it? When you go to a mechanic and you ask him a lot of technical questions, are you doing it to buy his service or to find a problem or to see a risk?
Usually when I go to mechanic, my car is already there and I'm asking him how to
If
solve the
you're
problem.
searching for a new one, or if you go to a bank and you want to take a credit, are you not asking multiple questions regarding risks?
Yes.
Okay. So I promise you guys that this, in majority of cases, does not build buying intent. When a client asks technical questions, that's why I told you in the beginning, you need to be short, really short, not explaining or whatever. Short, and then you can ask, would you like me to elaborate? You'll see they don't care because they're looking for a problem. When I speak with you today, any day, and I speak because I'm training, I monologue for 10 minutes, no way you agree with everything that I say. If you speak longer than 1 minute, no way I agree with anything that you say. If speaks more than 1 minute, speaks more than 1 minute, it's impossible. We will not agree on everything, which means when a client asks you any technical questions, even documents, any process question, let's call it, the more you talk, the less chance you have to close a deal. I promise you. I promise you. You can go and ask all of your colleagues or any other person that sells cars or apartments or whatever. I don't care. I've worked with enough teams. It's with every team. So it's not from the team or you. It's just human nature. I ask you the questions, either to compare your quote to another quote, because I see that you're nice, or usually it's even both, to find a problem. So when you give me more info, there's no way that I'm not going to find the problem. I mean, you can compare one equipment to another equipment, one manufacturer to another manufacturer.
Yeah.
For you, this one is better. For me, that one is better. Come figure me out. Come tell me it's not. So this, what you're explaining to me, it's nice you have it. However, this doesn't mean that you're using it the right way, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Like you guys need to, like, this is like super, you can do a lot of the stuff that I tell you the way that you want. You have your own style. But if we're talking about questions from clients, any type of a question, sorry, some client called me. If you're talking about questions from clients, you need to be always short and concise. And you can confirm if he really cares after you explain it with one sentence. Would you like me to tell you more? As we said, this is one of the first points in the beginning where we talk too much. Don't do it. It doesn't sell. I promise. I promise. I promise. Uh, as long as you can understand that the whole conversation is closing, you're gonna continue to accept these things and make it easier for yourself. I promise. Because I don't know if I spoke with on a quick call or something or not, but for you guys, I haven't for sure. I have these ones that I showed you here. I have the leads. I have a couple of different partners. I try to find new partners one day in the week, let's say. Tuesday, I'm going to try and see if I can get somebody new with connections to investors. All of the guys, including owners of big companies that I contact weekly, first time we talk. Last week, there were four people that I haven't spoken with. Never. Those are four that are good. There's others that were not as. These four super successful, 40 plus, 50 plus, big companies, couple companies, groups, holdings, so. We talk all of them without knowing each other. I'm dead honest. All of them without knowing each other while we're talking. they say the exact same sentence word by word, because we're discussing the contract. I try to keep it short, but there's like some clauses and stuff. We're discussing the commission. And all of these guys, I tell you, they tell me, look, we're gonna sign the contract, we're gonna adjust this, like some of the stuff, okay, let it sit. The commission, we're gonna split it. All right, but please, let's make sure we close the deal. We can sit here with the client. I've sat with clients like this for months. Nothing happens. Let's close the deal. A smaller deal is better than zero on the bigger deal. So let's focus on closing. This is what they tell me. And I think the same way. And there is a reason for these guys to talk like this. Do you get my point? No client, you need to know, no client is committed when he's asking you questions or technical or anything. A client is committed. I've had this rule my whole life. That's how they train me. When you have the money in the bank, up until then, he's not. It's not how it works. It really is not how it works. So please, guys, focus on this. And it should make you work on a positive way with the clients, not to pressure them, obviously, because I don't get irritated at this, because I know that when I'm a client, I'm the same. There's some lady from some magazine that keeps spamming me. I'm not serious. She wants me to buy something. I'm not serious. I'm ignoring her, ghosting her, even if I'm a sales guy. It's a natural thing. Why am I ghosting her? Because I want to buy, but not now. Why? It's not a priority. Why? I don't have time. Why? It's not a lot of money. It's actually small money. So it's totally out of my... I don't even care. That's it. If she called me 2 times, if she closed me on those calls and just said, look, I know you're busy and it's not a priority. If you pay now, I'm going to assist you with 1, 2, and I'm going to do it for you. It's going to take me one meeting. Let's do it like this. I would pay her on the call. But she didn't do it because she didn't close me. She just said, I'll send you an email with instructions. Okay. So even if I analyze myself, I'm the same as these guys that you're speaking with, and you would be the same as well. There's 4 things. Do you guys remember that last time we spoke about no interest? Obviously, we're going to speak mainly about this in closing. There's 4 main reasons to not have interest from a client. 4 main issues that happen, and this happen not in the closing part. This happen from start to finish of whatever you guys do. And we're going to discuss them now. Let me actually remove this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We're going to discuss this. Because you guys, now that you have gone through the majority of the points, there we go, of what we might have, no interest. Do I need to explain the 10 or 20% of no cash, no money? You guys, for no money, should have credits. You have subsidies. Even if he has to pay up front, you help him find it. You might have some payment plans. Yeah, it depends. The more flexible you are, the better. But one of the worst things you can give to a team is, if you don't know how to close, for me to give you payment plans. It's not going to work. You're not going to close. So as long as you can work with no interest, then, for instance, should give you different payment plans or assistance with credits or whatever if you have partners. If you don't know how to work on no interest, you should not get any payment plans, because when the client doesn't have interest, not cash, interest, you will try to give him a payment plan and he's not going to buy. It doesn't work. Here you need to fix the problem. You're not fixing no interest with no money. This doesn't work. So there's 4 main, let's say, lack of something. What would be lacking if I don't have interest?
If there's no interest, there's lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge on what?
Yeah, about the investment.
The investment?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
An investment can bring them, so to be independent from the grid, to have electricity.
Lack of info.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, yes, that's there.
Lack of trust.
Yes, okay, that's number 1.
Money.
A lack of money is not here. It's another one, as we said. Lack of money is separate from this, which you can fix hopefully with flexible payments. But to get to lack of money, you need to first of all even test this 3 times, right? So I need to test if it's no interest 3 times at least to know, okay, it's lack of money.
Likability,
No.
no.
Simi, what about, like, not really. I wouldn't call it like this.
Rapport, inside the trust, yeah,
Yeah, to a certain extent.
basically.
Maybe lack of confidence.
Lack of
Confidence.
confidence is the interest to a certain extent. If he has confidence, he's going to do it. So one is lack of info that you said, which is about the installation. What would you call if I don't know you, or I don't know what you need, what you want? I can trust you on a personal level, but on a professional level, if I don't understand you or the company or what you want, what would you call this?
Lack of profession.
We call it lack of position. As crazy as it sounds, this happens a lot in sales. Lack of positioning means that, to me, you're some kind of a sales rep that wants money. You will see this a lot in SOAR if your clients are honest with you. With a lot of people, they go, they talk, installation, everything. And to me, at the end of the day, I feel like because there's so much info, and also you're just like being formal with me. I'm like, this guy, okay, he's here to, I trust him. I see he's a good guy. He's here to get some money from me and to put some installation. There's no enthusiasm even. It's like there's a big gap between us. This is positioning. And the last one, it's even more important so trust is the whole conversation. Without trust, nothing happens. But for closing, there's something that is really important if you want to be able to handle objections. When does your wife or girlfriend argue with you a lot? Because men are the same on this part, but women show it immediately. What do you tell her if she gets you mad? No cursing.
Guys, I'm single, so please help me out.
Let's push him back in his memories. Let him stay positive. Somebody else. If even a friend, a buddy of yours, he keeps arguing with you. He doesn't accept your viewpoints, even if you're right. So you're right, but I say,
Understanding.
Huh?
Understanding.
Understanding comes after this.
Arrogance.
But why is he arrogant with you? Come on, man.
Yes.
Between you and me, what do we need to have? What's fundamental between you and me as men to have?
Lack of respect.
Lack of respect, yes. Good job. Yeah. Now, if you don't know how to build respect, you can easily become arrogant, because maybe your friend is arrogant with you because he feels like you don't respect him and he doesn't know what to do. This can be many things, Point is, how can I actually listen to you regarding the price or documents or anything, or that I need to install today, not in 6 months, if I don't respect you? And how do you build respect and understanding, as said, to not sound arrogant? How do you build respect?
To be advisor to the client. So
yeah, but generally speaking, like, what's the best way to build respect?
Be respectful to them, and then he will give you respect also.
Yes.
In much cases.
Yes, and there's another one. Sometimes, let's say, sometimes the client tests you. Even subconsciously, they do it. What happens then?
He needs to know you will do everything the best for him.
He has to recognize you as an honest guy. And sometimes you have to get personal, I think.
That's one, yeah. And another one is hold your grounds. Not always, but you need to. Like, this is actually why sales deals fall off. At one point, you need to clash with me. Okay, let me explain this really carefully. First of all, I'm going to show you the 4 points that... Let me show you this guy. So this is what we spoke about. A lack of trust can happen anywhere. This is the points of the conversation that we went through. So opening, KYC, listening, closing can happen anywhere. Lack of info on your service or product. It can be the KYC or the, if you remember, active listening or reflective listening. Lack of position typically happens in listening or closing, because in some cases you forget to explain why you care. You just explain the deal. And lack of respect happens again everywhere. If you see, obviously, this is not coming from me, by the way. This is coming from statistics. For instance, if we take the explanation and you guys get questions from a client, you see where it works. In one place, typically. In most cases, it would work here. So if you're getting technical questions here, and you're not in the KYC or listening, so you're in the opening or in the closing, and even here, by the way, but still, if you're in opening or closing, actually you are currently losing the deal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the client, like you're talking to me about, let's close it, and I go back to you explaining to me how an inverter works. I'm bullshitting you, okay? In most cases, and by the way, I don't even think about it like this. I would probably be really nice. I'm like, well, I need to slow down this deal. I haven't made a decision. He's not even doing it with bad intentions, you know. Whereas lack of position, for instance, if you start explaining how much you're gonna care about me in the opening and everything, one sentence there is enough. But talking about it, it's fake. So these are, by the way, hacks. Now, this is the most simple way to fix these things. The most simple way. All right. And I'll get back to what I said in a second. So if you guys follow what I will show you, it's actually going to at least bare minimum direct you into some part of the training or into some of your own ideas. But you need to know if you want to build trust. So essentially, these are how you fix it. Storytelling is number one. Storytelling is number one, even in most cases with everything else. That's how you build trust. It's not about your opinion. Storytelling is perfect. Feelings, reflective listening goes here. If you do good reflective listening, okay, I got you. So you're sitting today, you have a lot of work. I get you're stressed out. Are you? Like, is that what's happening? Yes, okay, fair enough. Sorry that this happened. Goals, this is for the closing. Goals are connected to trust, not the installation. Why they want to do it? If you want to make sure this, we can skip it. I think it should be good here, but examples with clients, again, on installations, not just storytelling. So this is just example with an installation if you want to do it, or circle back. So if you're in another part of the conversation where something's missing, go back, which means when you go back to this part, you don't pitch me on your installation, you ask me. That's why I tell you, would you like me to elaborate? Or, hey, if you don't understand this part, should I explain it again? Or should we move on? What do you think? Let him tell you. Lack of position is logical questioning. Do you understand now why we're working with clients like you? Or does that make sense? Logical, isn't it? These are a couple of open and closed questions that you can ask. Additionally, if he is speaking with others or spoken with other companies, always ask about the past. Why did you choose them? Why did you speak? Why exactly at that point? What's the one thing that made a good impression on you? And what's the one thing that made a bad impression on you from the conversation with that guy? And if you get to lack of respect, you need to give some time. But this, usually they are not going to show it. Why does this say nothing and reschedule? It says it because typically a client should not be really, arrogant with you. It should not happen. Do you guys understand what I asked you when I say there is no way for you to not clash with the client? Do you get what I mean by that?
Yeah, at one point there will be a difference of opinions.
Not even one. Yeah.
And you will stay each other. You will stay on the different sides of the river. Let's put it that way.
Okay. From your observations, when with each client we basically risk clashing, as says, having difference of opinions, having issues there, what do people typically do, especially in sales?
They agree with the client.
That's one thing.
Typically.
And there is one more that they do. So they agree so that's a mistake. I mean, you in your sentence you have I agree, but you need to move on and explain something else. So what's the second one that usually happens?
Or go directly to opposite attack to the client.
So this should not happen because this is so. If this happens, it's not sales. All right. So here we stop selling. You're right though. Yeah. If it happens, guys, understand you are not selling anymore. It's maybe something will happen magically, but it's probably over. One is, as he said, fully agree. The second one is, these are the two that I see mainly in every sector. Handle the conversation in a way that you are not going to get to a clash. This is what I've seen with a lot of guys. They sit on topics and on questions where they know that the client is not going to question them back. Or if the client questions them back, 100% you would be right. So let's say you have the best batteries, you would say only how you have the best batteries. But you would not talk about the money too much or the contract. You have the fastest delivery in inverters. You speak a lot about the fastest delivery for your inverters and how flexible they are to install everything to them in the future if you want to upscale. But you're not going to focus on the time that the client needs to take right now. Sign now, do it this month. Where you will for sure have a clash. Time, money, contract, you will have a clash. It's normal. You would see, by the way, guys, the more if you even go and watch the recordings and you analyze what we do, you will see how every sale is the same. It's just in different languages, basically. Depending, every client speaks a different language, but it's all the same. I promise you, it's all the same. You all are right. Like, lack of confidence typically comes because people either do not have the skill. So knowledge, information, you can have it, but you don't know how to express it, how to use it as leverage. So you don't have the skill, or you have lost a lot. So typically, I don't know what percentage of people, I cannot say. A lot of people lose arguments, or if they get into an argument, they cannot get to a conclusion. So if it's two people, either they stop here, nobody wins, or you lose. Typically, nobody wins in most cases. Because to win means that right now I get into a clash with you guys. I need to explain it in a way that you're not gonna hate me. I need to explain it in a way where I also understand your position to show empathy. I need to explain it so that I can pull you to my position, so you see me and you agree with me. This is me winning, you losing, by the way. All right? But in a way that you don't even realize it. You feel good about it typically. And most people, this is a personal thing, go through life without experiencing this too much. That's why people don't have confidence in arguing. Some people might have, there's another type, they have overconfidence, but they do it in an aggressive way. I was like this when I was younger. I would have overconfidence, doesn't matter if I'm right. I would kill the guy. This is super dumb. This is idiotic, basically. You just go and argue, because why not? So both of these extremes are really bad for sales. It's about understanding, and that's why it's confidence. Yes, understanding that you are right and that you are assisting the client in seeing your position, and that there's also a reason for the client to have his position. He's not wrong in his eyes. He's not wrong. That's why people don't understand how to handle a clash. When you have a clash, they feel like one guy is right. It's your viewpoint. So this is V. Let's say viewpoint is correct. And for the sale, because you're selling me an investment, let's say, or call it an installation, you need to always be on top of the client in your understanding. And he would not get through that if you argue, or if you don't show empathy, or if you don't know how to understand him. Because in his eyes, the second you get into a clash, you are asking him for his money. That's what he sees. He doesn't see, he's trying to explain to me a good investment, a security, to make sure I don't lose money. All of those things, a lot of clients don't believe them. First of all, because you haven't built trust. Second of all, because you haven't built respect. And third, because it's easy for him. You can say the best things out there, and he can say, he's saying that because he wants my money. This is the one place we need to clash with him. The one place. because this is something that the client thinks. Let me explain it like this, guys. Because this is something that the client thinks when you're handling objections. Some clients would say it, other clients would not say it. In both cases, you need to confront it. So even for me, in some cases, if the client, I see how he behaves, I know he's thinking, well, he's speaking so good because he wants my money, I would respond to that. It's like I'm reading his mind. What would you say that's a good handle for this? Imagine the client, regardless if he's thinking or saying it out loud, let's say he's thinking, well, you're just saying that because you want my money. What would you say in this case? This is fundamental, guys, for you to close a deal on the spot and to increase your conversion rate. Because this is one of the, I'm sorry for interrupting. This is one of the last-ditch efforts for the client to escape. Let's put it like this. This is one of his last chance, one or two more steps, and he signs, okay? So there are some clients that are really stubborn. Not all of them are going to have it. But those that are, this is like last door, close it, and you're saying it because you want money. Even if he feels good. Imagine what would be a good question, or even in some cases, statements that would solidify you in the deal here. By the way, good assertiveness, guys, is used in a mix. Either you have it in the beginning of the closing and then you don't have it, or you don't have it in the beginning of the closing and then you have it. My advice is to have it in the beginning and then soften up. It's easier to close.
They know who to trust. Revenue popping, bank busted, robust.